Hey, what's up? It's a bit breezy out here today, so I'm gonna walk around a little bit just in case it gets too windy in the microphone. So, overthinking is something that our clients struggle with quite a bit. It is really one of those challenges that just kicks your ass. And one of the things about overthinking is that I remember someone saying a long time ago, if you wait till something is perfect, then you waited too long. That's how it kind of is with overthinking. When you're overthinking because of perfectionism, you're overthinking because you're worried about what other people you're really thinking about what other people are going to think. At least that's what my problem was. Um, you're overthinking about, is it the right thing? Like, there's so much that's going through your head. And it is a real problem, especially when you're trying to be productive and you're trying to get things done. It just gonna kick your ass. Um, so I used to struggle with overthinking quite a bit, perfectionism, blend in with a little bit of procrastination. Like, the whole thing was really real. And by the way, when you check in, let me know. I'm checking out your comments. Let me know real quick how the wind is. I'm trying to keep us so we're not getting too much wind. Anyway, I know how it was for me. It was really, really, really a problem in regards to just trying to be a perfectionist. So I'm going to share with you one of the ways, and I mean, I was thrown into getting over overthinking literally in 90 minutes. It was, I almost want to say I got over it in that 90 minutes, but quite honestly, it probably took, it took the practice. Once once I had the mindset shift, it took the practice how I did it, and changed the game for me in 90 minutes. All right, so let's see. No, no, we're good. So here's the deal. So I'm in this event where they only have, um you had to have 10 figures or more. You have to had earned 10 figures or more in your business. And so that was kind of a big deal. So the people in the room, there were probably about 20 of us in the room, and they definitely separated it where there were men and women in different rooms. And the woman who was leading our session was um had already done $1 billion in business, right? So she was a total badass. But she did tell us quite a bit about struggling with overthinking and perfectionism herself. So here was the exercise. I'm going to share the exercise that we did. I'm not going to be able to do the whole thing, obviously, because it was 90 minutes, but I'll give you, some of the cliff notes. And this is something we actually do with our clients. So here's how it went. I think my service is getting sketchy out here, but I'm going to give it a shot. This area might be too noisy. There's a lot of trees, but it's also the place where it has the best service. So let me go from under the trees and see if I can make a difference. Oh, while I'm doing that, hey, what's up? My name is Donna St. Louis. I am the co-founder of Fire Savvy. We make sure that you have epic offers that your clients really crave, that those offers are put in target-rich environments where you have buyers, and of course, that once you get that buyer on the phone or in the DMs or you're standing on stage in front of your buyers, that you actually can sell to them. It's too windy over here. I'm gonna go somewhere else. And I got my trusty companion with me, who's always getting in the dirt. All right, so let's do this. So the quote that we started off with was, there is a different version of you that lives in everyone else's mind. And that really blew me away, because it was like, no matter how you try to be this one person, no matter how much you really try to put that in effect, the truth is that you are someone else in everyone's mind. They all have different perspectives of you. Um, that kind of kicked my butt a little bit. That was like the first one, like, shit. Okay. Right. So that's a real thing. Then as you move on, they went on to say, Now that you know that you are a different version in everyone's mind, right? There's a different version of you in everyone's mind. Then they had us sit down and said, I want you to write down the top 10 people that you know, top 10. And they said it couldn't all be family. So you had to have like a maximum of 3 family members that were super important to you. No, that you were super important to them. 3 people at work maybe, 3 friends, and then 1 other person. But you could only have a maximum of 10 people. Now you could have less than 10, but you can only have a maximum of 10. Um, so we did this little exercise, and then the next step was to write down what everybody how everybody sees you, right? What is your role in their life? So for example, to my mom, I'm her daughter or her child, right? To my boss, I'm their employee. To my sons, I'm their mother, right? And so there was just this, like, you had to write that down about everyone. And then she said, okay, now I want you to think of one specific incident that you had with your mom. So for example, your mom used to change your diapers. Um, your sons, well, you used to change their diapers. Your spouse, well, that person is seeing you naked, right? Like it was just like kind of like almost these vulnerable moments, so to speak. So we wrote those down, your best friend is seeing you cry, blah, blah, blah. So you wrote all those down. And then she said, okay, now switch the names. I was like, what? She will switch the names. So how would you see your boss if you would have changed your boss's diapers? Would you see your boss the way you see them now? How would you see your mom if you changed her diapers? How would your kids see you if they changed your, like, it was just like this thing. But it was kind of to her point, which was you are a different version of yourself in everyone's mind. They all see you differently. And your mom, by the way, sees you differently than you see yourself because you've never your mom has changed your diapers. You've never changed your own diapers, right? And so that was just another like mindset shift. Okay, so now I recognize that there is a living different version of me that lives in everyone's mind. So I got that part. Then I went to the next part, right? Which was now that I know that I'm a different version in everyone's mind, now we're at the overthinking. So, in other words, since you're someone different in everyone's mind, you might as well be just yourself because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do, you're going to be someone different, period, the end, no matter what, right? That's what's happening. So, you might as well just be 100% authentically yourself because they're going to make judgments and decisions based on their version of you, not who you really are. So, you might as well just be who you really are. Okay. That was helpful for me. That really helped me see things. But then how did I get the help with the overthinking? The help with the overthinking, that really came through when we did an exercise which had to do with ego. So she asked us to rate our ego from 1 to 10, with 10 being the most egotistical, right? Almost narcissistic, and 1 being like, I have very little ego, I'm super humble, that type of thing. And most people would put themselves somewhere around 5 or 6 in that area. So then she said, okay, so if you put yourself right in the middle around 5 or 6, then your overthinking actions don't match what you really think your ego is. She said, let's talk about why you overthink. And people came up with answers like, well, if I put out something bad, people are going to think this of me. And she said, who are those people? And then she came up, people would come up like, well, my mom, my dad, my da 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 da. She goes, okay, okay. But if they love you, people who love you don't judge you, and people who judge you don't love you. So the people who love you won't judge you, though they might ask you questions, but they're not going to judge you. It's like, okay. So she goes, let's say they do judge you. Will they love you anyway? Yeah, of course. Okay. Then we're going to take them off the list. They don't count. Keep going. So now we keep going. And then people started thinking about like who's going to judge them. And one lady's like, people on the internet, people on the internet are going to judge me. People on social media are going to judge me. That's who's going to judge me. The lady in the lunchroom is like, she just went in, like, they're going to judge me. And she goes, and there it is. She goes, you put your ego at a 5, but and honestly, it's probably about a 12, 13, 15, because you really think that everybody gives a shit about what you're doing. And like, there was a whole like, oh, wait. Right? And then she's like, if you want to stop overthinking, you need to get your ego in check. People will talk about you for maybe 30 seconds. Give them 5 minutes total, and that's a long day. And you are modifying, procrastinating, and bullshitting your life because of somebody's 5 minutes worth of thought. She goes, but in your mind, they're thinking about you every day and every time they see you. Really, are they? I don't know why that hit me so hard, but it did. It really did make me go, yeah, am I really that egotistical that I think everybody's thinking about me all the time? That everything that comes out of my mouth is like, "Oh my god." It completely changed how I started looking at overthinking. It really changed how I started going about my day to day. I really started paying closer attention to whose opinions I cared about versus whose opinion really didn't matter. And then the fewer people whose opinion I cared about, the less I started overthinking. The only person's opinion I started caring about was like mine, my business partner. And even then, it's so funny because even then, I still have to have conversations with my business partner. And I go, I just don't want to embarrass you. And she's like, you're not going to embarrass me. As long as you're being 100% you, you're not going to embarrass me. I need you to be all you. All you all the time. Don't worry about me, because that's where the overthinking comes from. We're so worried about everyone else that we forget to do something that we really need to do. Be a little bit selfish and give a shit about the person in the mirror. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. Hey, if you want to get on my schedule and you just want to have like a 15-minute chat, then go to salessuperstar.net/schedule, and you and I can have a talk. We could talk about your business, your offers, your audience. And if you would like to get into the academy, you literally have 1 day left. The academy already started. We can catch you up, but we can only catch you up till tomorrow. After that, it's all over. Can't catch you up. You'll have to wait until next quarter or quarter after. That's it. So if you want to get in, scan the QR code and we will get you all caught up. And and this is now when he decides he wants to dig right by my feet. See, that's the challenge. He wants to dig and then he digs and but he wants to sit under my feet and he wants to dig, which means I go home with sand, my shoes filled with sand. But he's happy right now. This is his moment, right? Yeah. We're gonna bathe again tomorrow. Bathe again home. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Again, if you want to get on my calendar, just go to salessuperstar.net/schedule. You can meet with me and Chanel. We can help you with your audience, your offer. Right. You got to make sure you have a badass offer, make sure you have a badass audience, and then you got to have the skills to sell it. If you want the skills and you really like, Donna, I'm closing, but I know I could be closing at a higher rate and I'm leaving money on the table. Check out check out the QR code right there. Just go ahead and hit it and you can get right in. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Talk to you later. And let's see if this stream actually worked because it looked jittery as hell on my side. If it's jittery, I'll do it again. Talk to you later. Bye.